Maps can be make or break for a Call of Duty game. I've said this many times. You could have the best gameplay loop in the world, but if the maps suck, it's not going to stick. And because of that, every few years, I like to update my list of the best COD maps of all time. And with Modern Warfare 3 right around the corner, it's a good time to do a refresh, especially since the new game is apparently going to feature a plethora of remakes. So you let me know in the comments what you think the 10 best COD maps of all time are. It's a lot harder than you actually think to do when you think of how many maps there are in COD history, but we're going to do it. Drop a like if you want any of these maps to come back in a future Call of Duty. At number 10, Resistance from Modern Warfare 3, one of my favorite maps in the sub-series. First appeared in the classic MW3 game, was remade several times because of its popularity. When it comes to the larger COD maps, I think it's hard to find one as crowd-pleasing as Resistance, and I think that says a lot about how well the layout flows. One side of the map will be fighting uphill, but it never feels unbalanced. You can always count on some insane firefights to go down in the center building. And how many awesome sniper clips did you see in the streets and alleyways of this map? Modern Warfare 3 version, great. COD World War II version, great. Infinite War version, okay. But I think it deserves to be on the list. I think it's a good way to kick things off. And who remembers the glitch where you could get up on the roof and you're like, where am I getting shot from? At number 9, Summit from Black Ops 1. You guys know I love a snowy map, and Summit is probably the best we've ever gotten. Set on top of a mountain at a high-tech facility, Summit was all about finding the best way to get the drop on the enemy while running straight into the center of the building, or running around the outskirts and trying to get behind them. But you had to be careful if you took the side routes, because if you took a wrong step, you would fall off the side of the mountain, which I know everybody did, and it gave the map some personality. Summit has been remade several times. It's definitely going to come back in the near future, mark my words. It's a great map, and it's fast-paced. It's actually pretty big. Seriously, the map is a lot bigger than people realize. You just don't notice it during the gameplay, because the fighting is usually so intense, and the layout makes sure that you're never really too far away from the action. Before we move on, guys, if you are into mystery boxes, check the link at the top of the description. Go sign up for the drop list. You are not going to want to miss what Chasing the Hobby is bringing here in a couple weeks. At number 8, Nuketown 2025 Black Ops 2. Now, the COD community is always split on this map. I get it. Extremely fast-paced. If you don't like that kind of gameplay, you hate it. That being said, it's iconic. And if we're talking about the best version, I'm going to go with the Black Ops 2 remake. I am. Nuketown may not be everybody's cup of tea. There's no denying that it's been around a long time and overdone, but it's also a fantastic change of pace for the multiplayer FPS genre when it came out. It helped define the Call of Duty attitude for over a decade. Every new Treyarch game expected to have a new version of Nuketown. Even if you don't like it, it's always the most popular map in the game. So even if it's not for everybody, and even if it's overly spammed, I think it has to be on the list. At number 7, Dome from Modern Warfare 3. I'm sure people have been getting sick of Dome recently with how many times it's been remade. That doesn't mean it's any less of a masterpiece. The OG Dome from 2011 was the most popular map in Modern Warfare 3 by a landslide. It's been remade and reimagined a bunch of times, but for me, the best version is the first. Looking at pictures of the map, I can hear the MSR shots, the MP7 span, the C4 explosions, and that iconic ringing of unlocking more perks in my Specialist Strike package when I was lucky enough to do it. Dome was awesome. I wouldn't be upset at all if it came back in Modern Warfare 3. I know Sledgehammer remade it in their last game, they may remade it in Vanguard, but if Nuketown and Shipment can be remade every single year, why not Dome? At number 6, Hijacked from Black Ops 2. Treyarch always manages to come up with some really awesome settings for COD maps, and Hijacked is one of my favorites. Set on board a massive cruise ship, this is where Batman was found as well, and there's lots of little details and Easter eggs that are easy to miss during public matches, but aside from the visual details, it's just amazing. Intense matches. The map was pretty small, very dedicated to the tried and true 3-lane design, but it took a unique approach. Featured the narrow outside lanes and a center fight pit that got dumb, as well as the underground flanking routes if you could use them to get a drop on the enemy and shift momentum. Hijacked is iconic, easily a top 10 COD map of all time, and strap yourself in because you're about to hear more about Treyarch maps. At number 5, Standoff from Black Ops 2. A lot of times sniper-based maps are controversial on Call of Duty because it can get pretty frustrating to play on a map when you're getting blasted in the face from 100 yards away over and over again. But Standoff managed to find that balance, that perfect balance of power positions for snipers and alternate routes for flankers. It did. The map features tons of power positions for snipers to take pot shots at each other, but it also features a lot of back routes and alleyways for you to sneak around and completely throw off somebody's groove with it. The snipers could never get too comfortable in one spot, which is perfect. Standoff is a masterclass in map design. It is for a respawn shooter. There's a reason why a sniper-heavy map like this is so beloved by the community, while other sniper-heavy maps in COD history like Gustav Cannon are universally hated. There has to be a viable counter to the sniping. They did it. They nailed it. At number 4, firing range from Black Ops 1. I've said it several times. It's the best map in the original Black Ops, and I stand by that today. Now, maps like Nuketown and Summit may have been iconic. Firing range is one that I could play 100 times over and never get bored with. The bright lighting made it super easy to see people. You could prevent camping in plain sight, while the abundance of power positions meant people were always playing tug of war with each other to control the middle of the map. Domination on this map was great. Sniper tower, 2 main buildings, one story building with windows, multiple lanes for you to run around. It was all about control. Control of those main structures. It made the map endlessly replayable as you could come up with new strategies. You could. Easily a top 5 map for me. At number 3, Crash from COD 4. Now, when this map was brought into Modern Warfare 2019, the community was pissed off because Infinity Ward made some changes that turned one of the best maps into an unfun and unbalanced map. Classic Crash from COD 4 is it's nearly perfect. It's one that people still should be taking notes from. Much like firing range, the map is all about claiming those various power positions in the middle of the map and holding them as long as you can. It's also a lot like Standoff in the sense that snipers, they can have fun. They can have a field day if they manage to secure one of the main buildings, but they can't get too comfortable because someone in one of the other buildings could easily pick them off if they took too long to line up a shot. And who forgets the ridiculous battles that took place while trying to secure the B flag and domination in the middle of the downed helicopter? COD 4's Crash is amazing. At number 2, Raid from Black Ops 2. Over the years, my opinion on Raid has gotten more and more positive, which is pretty impressive since I loved it from day one. It's one of the few maps in COD history to be remade a million times, and I'm still okay with it. Mid-sized map, designed for aggression at all times, certainly one of the best of its time. Now, there wasn't a lot of verticality, but that wasn't the point of this map. You went from battleground to battleground, and you never felt safe. Literally every part of the map was its own little fight club. You had the fight club in the center courtyard, fight club in the parking lot, fight club in the spawn areas, fight club near the pool, and on top of all that, there was even a basketball court that actually lets you shoot hoops with your knife. It was awesome. I'm 100% positive it's going to appear in Treyarch's next game. It's too much of a crowd pleaser to leave out. And at number 1 today, Terminal from Modern Warfare 2 just isn't going to get any better, no matter how hard the devs try. It first appeared in the original Modern Warfare 2, returned in the sequel, as well as Infinite Warfare, but nobody talks about that one, and early leaks are suggesting it could be here on launch day this year. Terminal is one of the best FPS maps ever made, and this is not the first time I've called it the best COD map of all time. It truly had everything. I have a lot of memories here, different game modes. I mean, not only was it great for all the core Call of Duty game types, it was extremely fun for custom matches, party modes, and at least one time per match, you would see somebody doing their absolute best to get on top of the plane with a tac insert, although they very rarely pulled it off. The map flowed so well in every mode. It complemented every play style. To me, this is the best map in COD history, and as long as Sledgehammer keeps the layout and spawns the same as they were back in 2009, it's going to be a blast to play in Modern Warfare 3. Let me know what you guys think. Well, let me know one map that didn't make it that should have, and I'll see you soon.